Let's grab our orange loop band. That's the orange loop band in the YouniquelyFit kit. I'd like you to bring it above your elbows. With it above your elbows, you're going to place your forearms onto the roller and sit back into a child's pose with the knees hip distance apart or a little wider if you'd like. You'll notice that the forehead hits the band. This is purposefully because we want to work the front of the neck, those underactive neck flexors. So on your inhale, as your pelvis pulls towards the floor, you're going to push your forehead into that band. On your exhale, you're going to let your inner thighs pull you deeper into the posture, pulling back. Inhale, pelvis pulls down as the forehead pushes into the band. Exhale, inner thighs pull back. Again, inhale, pelvis pulls down as the forehead pushes down. And exhale, inner thighs pull you deeper into the pose. One more breath here. Forearms pushing down into the roller, sitting heavy. And let's make our way up. We're going to take that orange band down to our wrists. Palms still face in towards one another. And now we'll take the roller on a diagonal to the right. As we sit back into our child's pose, twisted, we'll heavy the left butt cheek onto the heel even more so. So the band is here so that we feel the outer part of our arms, our triceps and posterior delts, and sculpt and tone. Plugging the shoulders down, you'll push down into the roller and pull out into that band, like you're trying to split it in half. Inhale, pelvis still pulls to the floor. Exhale, inner thighs pull back. How deeply can you breathe? Breathing into your side body and upper back. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Brace your abs. Exhale, sit heavy. 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale laterally, filling up that side body and upper back. Pull the abs in. Tug in and up on the muscles that stop your stream of pee internally. And Darth Vader sound as you exhale. Coming up, taking the twist now to the other side. Whatever side you're twisting towards, it's the opposite butt cheek that is heavy on the floor, pressing heavy towards the heels. Use your breath. Inhale laterally as the pelvis pulls towards the floor. Exhale, feel that lift of the pelvic floor, and that's internal. As you do that ocean-like sound, kind of like sounds like you're fogging a mirror, sustaining that pull in and lift up of the lower pelvic floor. So understanding how to breathe laterally is a really great way to condition yourself for singing longer phrases. So just filling up that back body and side body with air. Sitting back heavy, stretching out here. Give me one more breath. And then we'll make our way up. We're going to grab our gray loop band. Gray loop band is the heaviest band in the YouniquelyFit kit, and bring it around our outer thighs. We'll come to lie supine with the tailbone at the bottom and head at the top on our foam roller. Lying in this position, if you've never been on a roller before like this, just rock side to side. Notice how close you are to the ground. Yes, it is a balance. There's a balance component to it, and it can seem a little scary, but you're not far from the ground. And this allows us to recruit the internal abs, both in the TVA and your internal obliques. So from here, I want you to take one hand under your low back. Make sure that you're not arching your back so much that you could slide two hands under. So we want to tip our tailbone into neutral. That's somewhere between rounding the low back and arching it. That's the ideal position. However, if you notice the front of the thighs, the quads and the groin area, the hip flexors activating when you're working your abs, I'd advise you to tuck your pelvis under like a scared puppy and work with pelvic flexion. This will allow you to build up your core, and eventually you'll be able to work with neutral pelvis without over-recruiting those posturally tight and overactive hip flexors and quads. So with our neutral pelvis, we'll bring our arms into cactus. Holding the arms in cactus, soften the sternum, breastbone, in towards the roller, pressing the back ribs into the roller, wrapping the shoulder blades around the roller, pinching it, plugging the shoulders down, making sure there's weight both in our inner and outer edge of our feet and that our legs are hip distance apart. Your legs can be a little wider, but you'll be pulling out on that band using the abductors of the legs, but that will give you more stability if you're struggling with balance here. So slowly we're going to bring our arms by our side. Hands can be heavy by the hips, or if you'd like, you can dig your elbows into the floor, for less of a point of contact with the forearms facing in towards the body. Looks like a dead bug arms. So either hands down by the hips or dead bug arms. From here, check your neutral pelvis. Do you still have it? Inhale, prepare, pulling the pelvis towards the wall in front of you, bringing both legs up into the air, creating a right angle with your upper body and lower body. Now, legs hip distance apart if you have back issues or knee issues. They could be together if you do not. Point your toes. Dominant leg or your tighter leg is going to lower down for 4, 3, 2, 1. You'll inhale, reach the pelvis to the wall in front of you and lift it up. 2, 3, 4. Stay on the same side. Exhale, lower. 2, 3, 4. Keep that neutral pelvis. Inhale, lift. 2, 3, 4. Again. Exhale, lower. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, lift. 2, 3, 4. Keep the legs up. Subtly externally rotate the legs. And remember, keep them hip distance apart if you have knee or back issues. If you do not, they can be together. That means the heels will brush by one another every time you do a set. Now we're going to still lower that same leg, the tighter dominant leg, down. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, lengthen it to lift it up. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, inner thighs, pull it down. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, pelvis lengthens as you lift it up. 2, 3, 4. One more time. Exhale, lower. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, lift. 2, 3, 4. Let's take a pause. Exhale, lower both feet down, hip distance apart. Bring your arms into cactus and take 3 presses. Inhaling the arms up, softening the sternum down, wrapping the shoulder blades around the roller, plugging the shoulders down, neutralizing your pelvis. The wider the legs are apart, the more balance you have. You can bring them together if you want to challenge your balance here and work the inner thighs more. Couple more. After you've done one more, I'm going to have you bring the hands back to the floor by the hips or the elbows in the dead bug position. Neutralize your pelvis, soften the sternum inward, wrap the shoulder blades around the roller, plug the shoulders down. Inhale, reach the pelvis to the wall in front of you as the legs come up perpendicular to the floor, creating that right angle. Keep them hip distance apart if you have knee or back issues, together if not. Point the toes, lowering the non-dominant or not as tight leg down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, lift it up. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, lower down. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, lift it up. 2, 3, 4. One more time. Exhale, lower down. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, pelvis lengthens to the wall in front of you as it lifts up. 2, 3, 4. From the top of the hip socket, subtly externally rotate the legs. So that's turn them out away from the body. Don't go crazy. Don't rotate from the knees or ankles, but from the top of your hips. Keep the legs hip distance apart if you have knee or back issues, together. If not, we're going to lower that same non-dominant, less tight leg down on the 4 count. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, lift it up. 2, 3, 4. What's happening in your rib cage? Can you soften your ribs, breastbone, sternum inward towards the roller, plugging the shoulders down, wrapping the shoulder blades around the roller? Keep going. 4 counts down, 4 counts up. Soften your gaze, lift your chin a little. Remember those muscles we found when we were doing our child's pose and we were pushing our forehead into that band. Those are your neck flexors. They're very underactive and will help with your head position, which is very important for sound in acting and singing. Finish up the one you're on. Exhale both legs to the floor and slowly make your way off of the roller. Keep this gray band on your thighs and grab your lightest band, that orange band, to bring above your elbows, as we did when we were in child's pose. With it above your elbows, you're going to place your forearms on the roller and step into a forearm plank. Feet hip distance apart if you have knee or back issues, together if not. Long as a board, pelvis is below the upper back. Imagine my hands hovering from your shoulder blades. Puff your back ribs up into my hands. Exhale, tap the knees down. 2, 3. Inhale, lengthen the pelvis to the heels as you lift them up. 2, 3. Exhale, tap them down. 2, 3. Inhale, lift them up. 2, 3. Again, exhale, tap them down. 2, 3. Inhale, lift them up. 2, 3. Final time. Exhale down. 2, 3. Keep the band where it is above your elbows. Sit back into your child's pose. Forearms on the roller facing in towards one another. Inhale, push the forehead into the band. Exhale, let your inner thighs pull you deeper into child's pose. Inhale, forehead presses into the band as the pelvis pulls down to the floor. Exhale, inner thighs pull you back. One more breath here. Inhale, forehead presses into the band. Exhale, inner thighs pull back, and inhale, coming up, taking that band off your arms. Great job. All right, we're going to begin a back series. I'd like you to lie supine with the backs of your knees on the roller. You're going to tie your lightest loop band in a knot to the foam roller and hold the excess of the band in your dominant hand. So you'll want the roller under the knees and lie all the way back. You're going to point your toes, keep your legs pretty much together. Try to use the backs of the legs, the hamstrings, to keep that roller, to push it down into the floor to ground it. And take that dominant arm overhead into an overhead press after you've wrapped the knuckles around the roller. So with it in an overhead press, you are going to then take the arm up like Frankenstein in line with your chest and the opposite leg up in the air, perpendicular to the floor, pointing those toes. From here, reach those limbs in opposition down. The leg will hover from the floor, holding the arm down. I want you to find an imprint with your upper back. Plug the shoulder down. Think about the back ribs pressing into the floor. Widen the collarbone. Inhale, both limbs back up. Pelvic stability here, no movement in the pelvis. Exhale, lower down. Inner thigh pulls the leg down. Shoulder plugs down on that dominant arm side. Hold, inhale. And exhale, stay here. Inhale, lift back up. So we'll do a full breath at the bottom. Exhale, lower down. Hold. Inhale, 1. Breathe. Exhale, 1. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, lower. Hold. Inhale, 1. Exhale, 1. Inhale, lift. And last time on our dominant side, take it down. Hold. Inhale, 1. Breathe. Exhale, 1. And inhale, lift back up. Go ahead and flip the roller around so that you have the band now in your non-dominant hand. We'll do a couple of extra repetitions to even the body out. So if you feel your knees being bent in this position is challenging, you might need to roll the roller up a little higher under the thighs. It may be easier to pin it than right under the knees. Once you're down, we'll begin setting up on the other side. Inhale to prepare with the limbs up into the air. Exhale to lower them down. Holding them down. Inhale, 1. Breathe. Exhale, 1. And inhale, lift them back up. And exhale to lower. Inhale, think about the pelvis pulling towards that roller. Exhale, hold. Inhale, pelvis pulls towards the roller as you lift the limbs up. Shoulders down, and exhale, lower. Hold. Inhale, 1. Breathe. Exhale, 1. Inhale, lift. 3 more sets. Exhale, lower. Point those toes, even the leg that's on the ground. Use the back of that hamstring to pin that roller. Lifting up. Inhale. Last 2. Exhale, take it down. Hold. Inhale, 1. Breathe. Exhale, 1. Inhale, lift. And here we go. Final 1. Make it count. Focus on the quality. No pelvic movement. Shoulder stability. Widen the gap between the chin and the chest. Inhale, lift. From here, you're not going to take that knot out of your band because we are going to use it again in the same position on the roller. I just want you to go ahead and take it off and use the excess of the band, wrapping it around your hands, and come over to a wall. You're going to bring your arms into a high diamond shape. You've got the excess of the band evenly wrapped around the knuckles with the thumbs on the outside, and the arms are in a diamond, imprinting the back against the wall. So we're standing, feet hip distance apart, and you're very close to the wall. And we're going to start with the dominant arm, and we're going to pull it to the side of the body from a diamond shape overhead. Make sure the other arm is right over your head so the band doesn't hit you in the head. You're going to exhale, and it's a slow, slow pull down, like a lat pull down, all the way to the side of the body, trying to keep the imprint of the upper back. And then exhale. Let's actually inhale, prepare, exhale to pull down. Once you've gotten it as far as you can, inhale to lift back up. Keep the length in the side body here. Imagine I have your pelvis and I'm pulling down as that arm comes up. There's a tendency to shorten the obliques as we're trying to stabilize the shoulder and bring that arm back up. So you want to keep the length in the side body. Notice if the upper back is staying imprinted. We want to keep the upper back nice and imprinted. Let's do 3 more on this side. 3. Trying to get the forearm, the back of the arm, the shoulder, mid-back, tailbone, back of the head on the wall at all times without pushing the rib cage forward. So think about your sternum melting in and pulling down. 1 more on this side, and now we'll switch to the non-dominant arm. So this is going to be a little more challenging. Try to keep your dominant arm nice and stable. And on the way up, inhale, feel your pelvis pulling down, sternum melting in and down. The only thing that is going up is the arm, but you're still using that lat to move it slowly up. And the pelvic floor muscles, the muscles that stop your stream of pee, that energy line is going up. The sternum and ribs are softening down. The pelvis is pulling down to keep those hip flexors long. We've got 4 more. 4. And if your wrist is breaking, you may be making it a wrist exercise, so keep the wrist flat. Forearm and back of arm really pinning into the wall, pressing into the wall, lots of energy. Give me 2 more. 2. And last one. And 1. From here, grab a 3-pound weight. Holding it in your dominant hand, we're going to stay against the door. We're going to be doing cactus presses up. We'll do more on our non-dominant side. So start with your dominant arm just so you feel what it feels like. Inhale to press up. Exhale to come back to cactus. Keeping the imprint the entire time. And we press and we lower down. Notice the back of the shoulder should be working. If the front of the shoulder is working, you're gripping in your chest. Soften the front ribs towards the back ribs. Press the back ribs into the door. Keep your sternum melting down, 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 down. Pelvis pulling down. I have your hips and I'm pulling them to the floor. Long side body. Inner thighs are pulling towards the door behind you to stabilize your pelvis even more. And 1 more on this dominant side, and then I want to switch to our non-dominant side so we can do extra repetitions. Go ahead and switch to your non-dominant arm. The other arm can stay completely still, or it can do the motion as well without being loaded. See which version feels best on your body today. Notice the chest. See how much you can get it to melt in towards the wall. Shoulder blades are really pressing hard into the wall or door behind you. Plug the shoulders down. You're doing great. 5 more. We want to do extra repetitions to even out the work so that we can work our bodies evenly and for injury prevention purposes. 3 more. Moving on the breath. Inhale to press up. Exhale, inner thighs pull back as that arm comes down. Inhale, shoulders plug down, pelvis pulls down. Exhale, pelvic floor muscles pull in and up. And 2. Last 1. And 1. Good. Set that weight down. We're going to come into a forward fold. Stand with your feet hip distance apart. Hands at your side. From here, inhale, prepare. Lengthening the body. Exhale, begin to curl down, tucking the chin to the chest, softening the sternum, tucking the pelvis under, soft knees, rounding all the way down, deep C curve. Imagine you're creating a C from the crown of the head all the way to the feet, a deep scoop in of the lower abdominals. If this hurts the low back, bend your knees a little bit more and make sure you're pulling in and up on the muscles that stop your stream of pee. From here, inhale, you can play around with exhaling bending the knees a little, coming into a squat, and then inhale, straightening, pulling the pelvis down as you straighten. Exhale, inner thighs pull you back into the squat, and inhale, pelvis pulls towards the feet as you straighten. 2 more. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, bend. Inhale, pelvis pulls down as you peel up, vertebra by vertebrae. When you run out of that inhale, you exhale and you pull the inner thighs back so that the pelvis doesn't wobble. Soft knees. Weight evenly distributed between the toes. Great job. We're going to move on to some lower body work. For our lower body series, we are going to begin with a chair psoas stretch. These are posturally tight muscles, and we want to make sure we release them before we begin our hamstring and glute work, balance work. So you'll sit profile in a chair so you're supported and you're not over recruiting your quadriceps. Begin with your dominant leg back. Once you're in your lunge, option to keep that back knee bent so that we don't hike the hips. You want even pressure throughout all 10 metatarsals. So that front foot is grounded. You can always put a yoga block or a book under it if you have a tall chair. Your outside arm can come up into shoulder flexion, straight up in the air. Inhale, you can straighten the back leg if your hip flexors are a little looser, deepening the stretch. And once again, imagine I'm pulling your pelvis towards the floor and you're pulling your pelvic floor muscles up against it. You can take lateral flexion to deepen the stretch in the hip flexors. We'll be here for a full minute since this is a postural stretch for lordosis. If the hip flexors are tight, they can cause psoas dysfunction, which can actually shift the diaphragm and affect your sound. So since this is for actors and singers, a program for actors and singers, you really want to make sure you open up your psoas and you don't have dysfunction going on with this muscle group because it can affect your voice tremendously. And give me 2 more breaths here, deepening into that hip flexor complex stretch. And on your next exhale, slowly make your way to the other side, setting up, remembering that all your metatarsals should be grounded. If your foot is rolling in or out, put pressure on the opposite side to even it out. Pelvis grounds down, pelvic floor muscles lift in and up, shoulders plug down, lift the chin a little higher than you think so that we don't get that forward head syndrome. Plug the shoulders down, widen the collarbone. And just breathe, deepening into the stretch. Before you begin any vocalizing, this is a great stretch to do just to loosen up this area that can aggravate a lot of other muscles and pull you out of alignment. Square your torso to whatever wall's in front of you. Make sure when you bend, you don't twist. Keeping the whole body square to the wall in front of you. 4 more inhales and exhales, deepening into the stretch. And once you complete those, we're going to bring the lightest loop band around our ankles. And we have that lightest Theraband tied to our foam roller. We're going to bring the foam roller to the wall. So the circular part is right by the wall and the band is farthest away from the wall. With your loop band around your feet, around your ankles, and the lightest band wrapped around your knuckles, it'll be on the outside. I would start with your dominant hand holding the band. You're standing profile to the wall, one hand on the wall, and one hand is wrapped around that band on the outside. So we're going to slowly make our way. The band is on farthest away from the wall. And when you step onto the foam roller, we're going to move into an isometric hold of a hamstring curl. So your inside foot, bringing the band around your ankles, the inside foot is going to come into the arch of the band. The lightest Theraband is on the outside of the roller, farthest away from the wall, in your outside hand. Go ahead and step up onto the roller, holding onto the wall with your inside hand. Bend your knees as you get on. Wrap the toes around the roller. Bring the inside foot, the arch, into the band and come into a hamstring curl. Inner thighs are together. Point the toes. Bring your outside arm up to scaption, a high V in line with the chest. Palm facing in towards the chest. Plug the shoulders down. Isometric hold here. Notice the pelvis. Is it even? Can you get it even by pulling the inner thighs back and the pelvis towards the roller? Soften the sternum in, plug the shoulders down. Hold inhale 1, breathe. Exhale 1, focusing on stability. Inhale 2, take your eyes up. Exhale 2. Inhale 3. Exhale 3. Inhale 4. Exhale 4. From here, we're going to move into some movement. We're going to take that leg into a hamstring kickback, and that arm will go up at the same time into scaption, the motion it was just doing. So it goes out on the exhale, in on the inhale. Exhale, inner thighs pull back, arm comes up. Inhale, pelvis pulls towards the roller to keep you right on it. Exhale back. Inhale in. Don't sit into your supporting hip. Lift up through the obliques. Keep the collarbone wide. Shoulder blades retracted. 2 more. 2. And last one. And 1. We'll slowly step off the roller and come to the other side. Make sure every time you step up onto the roller, you have a hand on the wall, bar, or counter, and your knees are not locked out. You're soft in the knees. I advise using ToeSox because it gives you more grip on the roller. From here, inside foot's going to come into that hamstring curl, plantar flexion of the foot, inner thighs together, palm facing in as the arm comes up, wrist is slightly below the shoulder blades are together. Lift the chin up, apple distance between the chin and chest. Imagine my hands on your pelvis, pulling it down on the inhale, inner thighs pulling back to the wall behind you on the exhale, finding more pelvic stability, a deeper lift in your pelvic floor. Hear your inhales and hear your exhales. Inhale through the mouth or the nose, exhale out the mouth. That exhale will sound like Darth Vader or like you're fogging a mirror. One more time, inhale. And exhale, and let's move into the movement now. We're going to exhale to kick back into the hamstring curl and lift the arm. Inhale to bring the limbs in. Exhale back because the leg lowers a bit in the hamstring kickback, which is why most of the time when something lowers, and since the focus is more the leg here for lower body, I want to cue the breathing as such. Exhale back. Inhale, pelvis pulls down as you come in. Exhale back. Inhale, pelvis pulls down. Don't look down. Keep your focus up. Exhale. And inhale, 4 more. We've got 4. Doing great. And 3. Keep lifting up through your pelvic floor, plugging your shoulders down. 2. Use your toes, especially the toes that are holding you on that roller. Bone of the big toe and baby toe. 1 more. Exhale out. And inhale in. Slowly make your way off of the roller. Keep the roller where it is. You can drop the Theraband. You won't need it for this next exercise, but keep it tied and keep it on the roller. You're going to take the lightest loop band off and bring your heaviest loop band around your outer thighs. With the heaviest loop band around the outer thighs, the side you were just on, step up onto, the non-dominant side. One hand on the wall, your outside arm will be free. Kick your outside heel to your butt and grab that foot with your outside hand. Quadriceps stretch here. Wrap the toes of the inside foot around the roller for security. You can plantar flex or dorsiflex the foot that's back, kicking towards your butt. You're in a hamstring curl, yeah, and you're holding. So this is dancer's pose in yoga. If you're wobbling too much and this is too hard, you can always do this on the floor, but we're working to really find our pelvis and to really turn off our hip flexors and use our core, hamstrings, and glutes to increase strength in our sound and our resonance. So keep the chin lifted up onto the spine, shoulders rolled onto the back. Each breath is a chance to take the thigh back, to pull the pelvis down more, to pull the pelvic floor muscles in and up. So this, keep breathing here. Inhale should be your dominant leg that you're stretching. Inhale. And exhale. And one more breath. Inhale. And I want you to slowly make your way off, coming to the second side for our final stretch in our lower body series. When you make your way up, again, reminder for safety purposes, soft bend in the knees, always have a hand on the wall. Once you're stable, inhale, pelvis pulls down, exhale, inner thighs pull back. When I say down, I mean towards the foot that is on the roller. And notice if you're rolling in or out on the foot. Where do you need more energy? I find myself having to shift and find where in the foot, when I put pressure, I can really access the back of my legs, the central hamstrings, the lateral hamstrings, and the glutes. Where do I need to go to turn off the front of my thigh and hip flexor? So pull up through your pelvic floor and find the hamstrings on that supporting leg. It's really important. Keep breathing. Inhale and exhale. 3 more breaths. Inhale, pull the pelvis down. Exhale, pull the inner thighs back. Again, inhale, pull the pelvis down. And exhale, inner thighs pull back. And last time, inhale, pelvis pulls towards the roller. And exhale, lower that leg, slowly coming off that roller. Great job. We're going to move into some footwork. We're going to keep the heaviest loop band around our outer thighs, and we've tied the lightest Theraband to a quarter of the way into our foam roller. We're going to grab that in our outside hand, and we're going to step up onto the roller. So we have that band in our dominant hand. We step on up. Our legs are together. Imagine you're a bird wrapping its claws around a branch. Point the toes around the roller. Go ahead and take that arm up into a overhead press, pushing the shoulder down, breathing. Inhale here. On our exhale, we're going to come more onto our metatarsals, so our heels are kind of hanging off the roller. You got to lift up your pelvic floor to stay there. Inhale, pelvis pulls down. Exhale, we do a little small pedal of the heels, bending one knee and then the other. You got to lift up through your pelvis so you don't let that roller slide out from underneath you. The shoulder stability you'll find with that press. Remember, the back helps with the movement as well. Sternum reaching in towards the back body. Lower pelvic floor lifting in and up through your torso out the crown of the head. Pelvis pulling down. Inner thighs pulling back. So I like to inhale, ground. Exhale, move. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, ground. Exhale, move. 2, 3, 4. This takes a lot of lift through your core. This is going to really work on the flexibility of the calves, the articulation of the feet, and the involvement of the pelvic floor for footwork. We can't just rely on our leg muscles. We need to rely on the torso to carry the limbs through space. Give me 2 more. After your second one, bend the knees and make your way off of the roller, and we'll switch sides. Now, I'll warn you, this side is going to be a little more challenging. Don't check out. Make sure you're always focused with your eyes. Your knees are soft. You're using your breath. No holding the breath. With the hand on the wall, just make sure you're not pushing into a cabinet or pulling into something that could move. You've got to have good leverage for safety purposes. Once we're up, we're going to begin the pedaling. Inhale. We're still, we imagine the pelvis pulling down, the sternum softening inward. On our exhale, we pedal by bending the knees, and it's small, and I don't want to see the pelvis going up and down, which is why I say pause on your inhale and pull the pelvis down so that when you bend, it's from the femur bone, it's just dropping, and you're getting that stretch in the calves without a deep shift or hike of the pelvis. We shouldn't have to do that. We should be able to lift up through the core and keep our pelvis completely stable and square to the wall in front of us. So make this small, make it slow. Even though you are pedaling, I'd rather it be a nice slow pedal and there be control. We don't want the roller going out from underneath you. You won't do that if you're lifting up through your center. Shoulders down the back. Give me 2 more sets here. Hear your breath. After your final set, step off, grab a 3-pound weight, and you're going to come back to your dominant side, holding that 3-pound weight in your outside hand. Step on up. From here, we'll start a little closer to the wall, and you're going to step onto the right foot, stepping to your right or stepping to your dominant foot, and then kicking the inside leg to your butt, coming into that hamstring curl, the lower body work we did. Take the shoulder press you just found with the footwork up. And from here, I want you to test your balance. See if you can find your balance, taking that hand away from the wall, using your low abs. Inhale 1, breathe. Exhale 1. Inhale 2. Exhale 2. Inhale 3. Exhale 3. Hand back to the wall. Step closer to the wall again. We're traveling through space. Test your balance as you step onto that outside foot. We're going to stay on the same side just so that the loaded side is our standing side. That gives us good opposition. Plantar flex the foot that's going towards the butt. Toes pointed, inner thighs together, pelvis pulling down, abs pulling in and up, shoulders are down, focus up. One more breath here, inhale, and slowly make your way off. As a reminder, this next side is your non-dominant side. You got to be extra careful. No moving quickly. Don't bring the hand away from the wall unless you feel confident that your center is under you and you have your balance. Step to that single leg. So we're stepping in the frontal plane to a unilateral balance. Inner thighs come together. We're putting together some exercises we've done, our hamstring curl and our overhead press. We're seeing how square we can get the pelvis, how we can turn off our hip flexors and quadriceps, use our toes, close the sternum, front ribs, plug the shoulder down, and let's make our way back closer to the wall. Second set, stepping to the side to balance. So same side, we step towards, away from the wall, kick the butt with our inside heel. Inhale 1, breathe. Exhale 1. Inhale, pelvis pulls down. Exhale, inner thighs pull back. Pelvic floor muscles pull up. Inhale, shoulders plug down. And exhale, slowly make your way off of the roller. You're going to set that weight down and come back to your dominant side. We'll step back up onto the roller. Feet are going to be together for this. If you have any low back issues, take your feet hip distance apart. So soft bend in the knees. That inside hand, I want to encourage you to keep it walking down the wall. You're going to bend your knees. Exhale as you begin to fold forward, reaching your hand for the floor. Now, the hamstrings are open with lordosis, so we don't have the struggle with hamstring flexibility here. We're moving into a forward fold. Release the back of the neck, hanging here. This is nice because we get an even deeper stretch. We have to use our core in this release, so it's an active stretch because we're actively using our pelvic floor muscles, pulling them in and up, staying grounded. Eventually, you'll get to where both hands can hang out on the ground. You can bend your knees and straighten them, working on the inner thigh strength, staying nice and grounded. Hold it here. Inhale 1, breathe, exhale 1. Inhale 2, exhale 2. Inhale 3, exhale 3. Inhale, tuck your pelvis under. Exhale, inner thighs help you pull up. Walk the hand up the wall, slowly coming up, using your center. Slow, slow, slow. Once you're up, stay here, bend the knees. Inhale, roll that outside shoulder back for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees and step off, coming to the other side. So our inside arm is doing a little work. We're going to do the same fold here, still working on releasing the low back, the neck, the shoulders, the chest. So as you do your deep C curve, I want the sternum reaching for the back body, inner thighs pulling back to the wall behind you. Each inhale, the pelvis pulls towards the roller and the pelvic floor muscles pull in and up, deepening that C curve. Crown of the head through those feet, deep C shape. Inhale. You can always hold a yoga block in the outside hand if you want something a little closer to the floor for leverage. Breathe here. Inhale. Deepening into the stretch. Exhale. Letting go of the neck, facial muscles, shoulders. Pulling in and up on the pelvic floor. Feeling your pelvis pulling towards the roller. Inner thighs pulling back to the wall behind you. You can always bobble the chin if you think you're holding neck tension. Close your eyes, check your proprioception, keep your abs firm. Inhale, pelvis pulling down towards the roller. Begin to peel up. Inner thighs pulling back. Pelvic floor muscles pulling up. Use your outside hand. Use your toes. Collarbone wide. Deep lift of the muscles that stop your stream of pee. Pelvis pulls down in opposition of those muscles. Once you're up and steady, roll that outside shoulder back for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. We're going to begin a squat series. What you're going to need is your heaviest loop band around your outer thighs. And you're going to go ahead and tie the lightest Theraband a quarter of the way into your foam roller. Once you've done that, holding onto the wall, I want you to make sure that your dominant leg is farthest away from the wall. So the non-dominant leg is close to the wall. Dominant leg is farthest away from the wall. Standing profile by the wall, bar, or counter you're holding onto. Stepping up slowly onto the roller. From here, we've wrapped that Theraband around our outside hand. We're going to bring that outside arm up to shoulder flexion as we sit back into a squat, exhaling. Inhale, coming into warrior 3. And exhaling back to our single leg squat. Inhaling to stand up, the arm comes down. We lower the inside leg. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, sit back, arm comes to shoulder flexion. Inhale, forward to warrior 3. Exhale, back to your single leg squat. Inhale, pelvis pulls down as you rise up on that in that single leg squat, working that outside glute, outside legs glute. Again, inhale, prepare. Exhale, sitting back on 2 for full range of motion, shifting over to 1, and making your way into warrior 3. Exhaling out of warrior 3, inhaling, standing up on one leg. Exhale, go ahead and bring that inside leg down. Inhale, prepare, pulling the pelvis towards the roller. Exhale, inner thighs pull you back into your squat. Inhale, pelvis pulls towards the roller as you move into warrior 3. Keep your hips square, abs engaged. Exhale, making your way back into that single leg squat. And inhale, standing back up. Exhale, lowering the foot that was lifted. And last time, inhale, prepare, pelvis pulling towards the roller. Exhale, sitting back into your squat. Inhale, shifting, warrior 3. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, standing up. Slowly make your way off of the roller. We're going to go to the other side. Setting up on the other side. Stepping up. Soft bend in the knees. Feet are hip distance apart. However, you can work with them together as long as you're keeping your hips even. We'll begin with an inhale, pulling our pelvis down towards the roller. Exhale, inner thighs pull us back into the squat. Inhale, shifting to our outside leg into warrior 3. Exhale, back into that single leg squat. And inhale, standing up tall. Exhale, bringing that foot down. Preparing again. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, sitting back, arm to shoulder flexion. Inhale to warrior 3. Exhale, back to the single leg squat. And inhale, standing up. Now use your inhale and exhale to drive the energy and to align your body. So inhale, prepare, pulling the pelvis towards the roller. Exhale, inner thighs pull you deep into the squat. Inhale, pelvic floor muscles, the muscles that stop your stream of pee, lift in and up as you move to warrior 3. Exhale, inner thighs pull you back into your single leg squat. And inhale, you stand tall, pulling the pelvis towards the roller as you come up. Exhale, that inside foot down. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, sitting back into your squat and shifting over. Inhale to warrior 3. Exhale, back to the single leg squat. Inhale, stand up tall. And again, inhale, prepare. Exhale, sitting back. Inhale, warrior 3. Make sure you're pointing your toes of the lifted leg. The hips are square. shining like headlights to the floor in warrior three. Exhale back to your single leg squat. Don't hike or sink into one of your hips. Pull the pelvic floor muscles, the muscles that stop your stream of pee, in and up. Inhale, pull the pelvis down in opposition as you stand tall. And exhale, the inside foot down. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, sitting back into your squat. Shifting as you move into warrior three. Inhale, pointing the toes. Exhale, back into the single leg squat. And inhale, standing up tall. Give me one more. Exhale, sitting back. Inhale, warrior three. Think about your front ribs reaching for your back ribs, or your sternum melting through your body towards your shoulder blades, closing off the front body, back into your single leg squat. And inhale, stand up tall. Let's do one more. And exhale, sitting back. Inhale, warrior three. Exhale, single leg squat. And inhale, standing up tall. Bent knees, slowly step off of the roller. We're going to move into balance work in the transverse plane. I'd like you to come back to your first side where your dominant leg was on the outside. You're going to take your outside hand, wrapping it around the Theraband that we have attached, and keep this heaviest loop band around your outer thighs. Facing your wall, the leg that's closest to the roller, you're going to step up onto the roller, bringing the inside leg to your butt into your hamstring curl. Legs are together, pelvis is pulling down towards the roller, toes are pointed, both the foot on the roller and the foot that's lifted, hips are even, abs are engaged. Test your balance. And let's try this one more time on this side. So stepping up to a single leg balance in the transverse plane where 90% of injuries occur. Very important for injury prevention and functional movement purposes. Step up, find it, hold, inhale one, breathe. Exhale, inner thighs pull you back. Inhale, pelvis pulls down towards the roller. Exhale, toes point, wrapping that foot, that outside foot around the roller. On your next exhale, slowly step down and set up on the other side. So you'll be facing the wall and you're quarter turning. So I like to think about a clock. I'm facing 12 o'clock. Now I'm turning to 9 o'clock on my opposite side, or maybe I'm turning to 3 o'clock, depending on what side was your dominant side. And you're stepping up, kicking the heel to the butt, that inside leg's heel to the butt, pointing the toes, keeping the hips even, keeping the pelvic floor muscles lifted. Test your balance. Hold. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath here. Inhale. And exhale, stepping down. Last time on this side. When you're ready, step up, find the balance, soft bend in the knees. Inhale. Brace the abs and exhale. Plug the shoulders down the spine. Inhale, sternum reaching for the back body. Exhale, one more breath. Inhale. And exhale. From here, we are going to come back to our first side, standing with our feet hip distance. Get a little closer to the wall than being in the center of your roller. You don't need your Theraband for this, but we'll keep that heaviest loop band around our outer thighs. We're going to take a forward fold, walking the inside arm down the wall for security. And we're going to hang over our outside leg, letting the neck go, the facial muscles. Exhale as you lower, and then begin to play around with inhaling and pulling the pelvis towards the roller, and exhaling and trying to straighten the legs and brace the lower abs. So there's a little movement. There's a little bending and straightening happening in the legs. Now, if this really throws your balance off, then just stay in the fold and breathe. But if you're able to add that movement, it'll give you a little more awareness of where you're working too hard and where you're not working hard enough. One more breath here, inhale. And on your next exhale, brace those inner thighs, pull the pelvic floor muscles in and up, and inhale, round yourself back up to a standing position. Soft bend in the knees, step off the roller. Let's go to the other side, setting up. The hand on the wall is doing a little work, and we want to feel the balance. We want to balance that out as well as stretch the other side, the QL, the low back area. Inhale to prepare, pulling the pelvis towards the roller before you begin your fold. Exhale and begin to round forward, relaxing the neck, facial muscles, shoulders, and chest. Let those areas go. Inhale. Think about the pelvis pulling down. Exhale, straightening the legs a little, pulling the inner thighs back as the pelvic floor muscles lift in and up. Again, inhale, pelvis pulls down a hair. Exhale, inner thighs pull back. So there's this little bending and straightening happening in our knees. 2 more. Inhale, pelvis pulls down. Exhale, inner thighs pull back. And 1 more time, pointing those feet, wrapping them around the roller. And exhale. Inhale, rounding up, tucking the pelvis under, lifting the pelvic floor muscles like you're stopping your stream of pee. Soft bend in the knee, both knees, and slowly step off of the roller. Great job. We're going to take our roller now and we'll take off this lightest band we've tied a quarter of the way in just so it doesn't get in the way. Keep the heaviest loop band on your outer thighs, and we're going to make sure our outside leg is our dominant leg and our inside leg is our non-dominant leg. And we're going to place the top of the foot, pointing the toes, on the roller, coming in a prep for a mini lunge series to strengthen our glutes, especially the glute max and glute min. Outside hand is on the hip. I want you to push that hip down, keeping it even. Pull the abs in. If you could do this in front of a mirror and check how even your hips are, it'll be really helpful in changing some of your muscle patterns. I want you to exhale, inner thighs pull you into the lunge. Inhale, pelvis pulls down as you stand up tall. Exhale, inner thighs pull you down. Inhale, standing up. Keep that going. Exhale, inner thighs pull you down. Inhale, you stand up. Exhale, inner thighs pull you down. Inhale, pelvis pulls to the floor as you stand up. Make sure you're pointing the foot. You're not sickling it in, turning it in, that it's completely pointed and parallel behind you. That'll help. And keep the range of motion small. If you're constantly losing the roller, you may be pitching your upper body forward. You may be disengaging with your core and inner thighs. And watch out for the focus of the eyes. It needs to be up eye level at all times. So as you go lower in the lunge, your eye level does change, but that doesn't mean the head goes forward and the torso goes forward. Go ahead and switch sides, setting up on your non-dominant side. Begin when you're ready, exhaling as you lower into the lunge, inhaling to lift back out of the lunge with the inner thighs and the glutes activating. We'll also recruit the hamstrings here, and we have the assistance of this heaviest loop band to keep our alignment and to help us find out what square is. Because with lordosis and kyphotic lordotic, there are a lot of strength issues. There's a lot of flexibility, and so that can throw off the alignment because certain muscles aren't strong enough to support the flexibility, and we don't want injury to occur because of this. So as you're working here, hear your breath. Exhale as you go back, pointing the toes that are the top of the foot and pointing the toes, plantar flexion of the back foot. Watch out for knees going wayward. Press equally through the inner and outer chain of your foot, especially the outer chain, because that is the underactive area since we're pronators with lordosis. Keep breathing. We're going to do some extra repetitions on this side. Hear your inhale. Hear your exhale. 1 more. From here, we're going to bring the foam roller against the wall, and we're going to pin it with our non-dominant leg, stepping our dominant leg forward. So it's flat against the wall. We're going to hold our front leg's hip with our hand, guiding it down, and our back leg's hand is going to do punches. We're going to inhale, exhale, twist, and punch. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, pelvis pulls down. Exhale, under thighs pull back. Torso is up. 2, 3, 4. Inhale and exhale, punch. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, pull that pelvis down. Exhale, twist and punch. 2, 3, 4. 1 more. Inhale and exhale, punch. 2, 3, 4. From here, We're going to switch sides, setting up on the other side. Inhale, prepare, pelvis is pulled down, and exhale, we twist and punch. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, exhale, twist and punch. 2, 3, 4. 2 more sets. Square that pelvis off, pull the abs in. Inhale, exhale, punch. 2, 3, 4. One more. Inhale and exhale, punch. 2, 3, 4. Great. From here, we're going to face our wall, bringing our dominant arm on the wall for a pec major stretch into a T, twisting away from it. Take your hand, your outside hand, to your hip, driving your pelvis down, twisting on your exhale. Inhale 1, breathe. Exhale 1. Inhale 2. Exhale 2. We're going to 6. Inhale 3. Exhale 3. Inhale 4. Exhale 4. Inhale 5. Exhale 5. Inhale 6. Exhale 6. Setting up on the non-dominant side for a little less time, twisting away from that arm. Inhale 1, breathe. Exhale 1. Inhale 2. Exhale 2. Inhale 3. Exhale 3, turning back to center. Go ahead and grab your 3-pound weight, and we're going to make sure we still have on our heaviest loop band around our outer thighs. We're going to be stepping up onto our foam roller for sagittal plane step to balance, stepping forward and stepping back. Start with your dominant leg on the outside, and we're going to be stepping up to that hamstring curl with an external rotator cuff position of our outside arm. So the forearms open, palms forward, elbows glued, and the back of your arm, your tricep, is glued to the side of your body. Find your balance here. Inhale 1, breathe. Exhale 1. Inhale, pelvis pulls down. Exhale, inner thighs pull back. Inhale, sternum softens inward. Exhale, chin lifts up a little higher. Slowly step forward of the roller. Same leg we just worked is now going to step back. Inhale as you step back, soft bend in the knee. And exhale, bracing the lower pelvic floor. Inhale, collarbone wide. Exhale, make sure your focus is up a little higher than eye level with the eyes. Widen that collarbone. And let's slowly make our way to the second side. Once you're ready, we're now stepping up onto our non-dominant leg. We're holding the weight in that same hand of the supporting leg. Make sure you use your toes. Your hips are even. You're pointing the toes, both the foot on the roller and the foot that's kicking towards the butt. Hold. Inhale 1, breathe. Exhale 1. Inhale 2. Exhale 2. Inhale 3. Exhale 3. Step in front of the roller. This is the scary one. Be very careful as you're doing this. Inhale, prepare, stepping backwards onto that leg. Exhale, inner thighs help you to stabilize. Pelvic floor muscles do as well. Inhale 1, breathe. Exhale 1. Inhale 2. Exhale 2. Inhale 3. Exhale 3. And slowly stepping down. From here, I'd like you to take off this heaviest band, grab your lightest loop band and your foam roller, coming to a wide leg seated stretch. Bringing the foam roller between the legs long ways, and you're going to bring your wrists, palms facing one another, onto the roller as we fold forward, walking out. I'd like you to inhale, feeling your pelvis pull towards your feet in both directions, towards the floor and towards the feet. Exhale, your inner thighs pull back behind you. This will help you deepen into the stretch. Inhale, pelvis pulls towards the feet. Exhale, inner thighs pull back to whatever is behind you. Make sure you're feeling the toes really pointing. Point through the big toe as much as the baby toes. If you're feeling pain in the knees, then just decrease the range of motion of that wide seated forward fold position. So take the legs in closer to one another. Sitting up on the top of your sits bones before you fold forward. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale to ground that pelvis down. Exhale to pull the inner thighs back, deepening the stretch. Again, inhale, pelvis grounds down. Exhale, inner thighs pull back and deepen the posture. Keep pointing your toes. Inhale 1, breathe. Exhale 1. Inhale 2. Exhale 2. Inhale 3. Going to 6. Exhale 3. Inhale 4. Exhale 4. Inhale 5. Exhale 5. Inhale 6. Exhale 6. Rounding up, bending the knees softly and bringing the legs back together. Wonderful job.